today's lecture is about the post-tensioning system. What is the basic principle behind the post-tensioning system? In post-tensioning system, concrete units are first cast by incorporating the ducts or group to house the tendons. That means what we do first casting of concrete. We have done the casting of concrete in the structure, in the molds. Then what we have to do at the time of casting, we we have to ensure the placing of ducts so that uh, after the casting process has been completed and it will gain some strength, then what happened, tendons should be should be housed into this these ducts. So after the concrete gains, the tendons are stressed or tension by means of jack, or on the other end what we have to do, we have to anchored we have to anchoring the tendons so that the from the another end we could raise the tendons. That is the main phenomenon. And generally what happened, the force are generally here transferred by the anchorage, not by the not by its transmission length to the concrete. That is by the uh, provided at the ends of the anchorage provided at the ends of the at the ends of the member. These anchorages these anchorages is very important in post tensioning system rather than in the pre tensioning system, where very simple type of anchorages are used. But here most of the anchorages are, they are also patented device, but here most of the anchorages are patented and also complex in nature. Not all these are not simple, just like a wedge action, but still here also depending upon the situation we could use this type of friction, this type of wedge type of anchorage also used. There are three types of, generally three types of anchorages are available based on the principle. Based on the basic principle, we could divide three types of anchorages. First of all, wedge action producing frictional grip on wires. Second is the direct bearing type, and third type is the looping the wires around the concrete. ये तीनों टाइप का होता है, मतलब ये तीनों टाइप का होता है, तीनों these are the three principles what we generally these are the basic three principle. Based on this, most of the anchorages are available in the market. But and here you can see that these are the post tensioning bridge. This is the post tensioning bridge, but internal prestressing system has been applied here, because all these ducts you can see, all these ducts these ducts all these ducts are inside the member, inside the reinforcement cage. So these are the types of your internal prestressing system. As you can see here, you can see, I think, very light color is highlight. Here you can see, I think you can see, these are all are the internal type of prestressing system. But here you can see in from the picture these tendons. These tendons are this is the tendons. These tendons. This is the tendons. These tendons are inside the box. Inside the box of the bridges. That is, if it is this is actually a box girder type of bridge, and these tendons are inside the box, not inside the concrete. So you can say that it is an external type of pre-stressing system. External type of pre-stressing system is used here, and here you can also see is a very unique thing, that is a blockage from where the tendons actually uh, go through it, go through this type of blocks, because you I taught something called the I taught about harping device. These are usually used for give for giving the eccentricity, for giving the profile, proper profile of the of your system, of your pre-stressing system. Here also it is used, as this thing is not inside in the concrete, it is external to the external to the concrete, these tendons. So what happened, here we have to construct a block, very block anchorage. Generally these are called the block anchorage. Here you can say the block anchorage places is there, so that desired amount of eccentricity or desired profile of the tendons are provided, can be provided by this type of blocks. These are the these are the examples of the external pre-stressing systems generally. So as just like a pre-tensioning system, there is in case of the post-tensioning system also various stages of post-tensioning are there. That is, first of all, is your casting of concrete. You need to cast the concrete first into the mold, and you need, second thing is, and before casting you have to ensure the ducts are provided or not. Ducts should be provided inside the cages, in case of external, in case of external in case of internal post tensioning system, and in case of external system, you may, but you need to have that provisions first, otherwise you will not able to do. So you have to, second thing is, in general, if I have to say, second thing is the placement of tendons. Second thing is placement of tendons, and third is your placing of anchorage blocks and the jack, and fourth is applying tension to the tendons, and fifth is setting of wedges, and sixth is the cutting of the tendons. So these are the stages. So if I have to, if you please look into the, please look into this schematic diagrams. That is, first what happens, please, first what happens, concrete casted first. Casting of concrete is your first option. Second, what happens after casting, there is a, you need to ensure about the ducts, placing of duct. placing of duct. Second thing, what happened after the placing of ducts, placing of tendons inside the ducts. Then what happened? Preparation of tensioning the tendons. What you have to do? You have to provide the in anchorages, and at one side, and another side you have to provide a jack, a proper jack you have to use, so that you could tension, you could stress the tendons through the member, and it will provide the stressing to the member. And after the tracing, you have to anchor, you have to anchor this end also. Here you do the anchoring in this end, and also basic stages, basic principle of doing a post tensioning system. So so to provide this kind of if you have to, prepare this kind of to provide this kind of techniques, what you need to do, you need to have some you need to have the following things. You need to have the following things to for the post tensioning system. First of all is anchor anchoring devices. Second is your direct anchoring devices. First of all is very important is your anchoring device. First of all is the anchoring devices, which you can, first of all you need the anchoring devices. These are the based on some principle, that is the wedge action. Second is the direct bearing. Third is the looping wire system. Generally the wedge action type of anchoring devices are most widely used. You can very easily see that this is a cylindrical chuck, cylindrical vessel, cylindrical vessel, and you put inside these wedges, and so that it could, and there is certain amount of grips, as you can see. I think you can see these things, these are the wedges, and then there is also the grips also there. And what it what it do, it just grip this grip the anchoring wires, grip the anchoring wires against these cylindrical chucks, cylindrical vessels, and it should be yes, that's the way you actually that's the way to use this kind of system. Here you also can see there another type of, not the same type of things, that is also a wedge action type of system, based on the wedge action or friction type of anchoring devices. This type of system is mainly called the Freycinet T systems. Freycinet T system. You can see there is a grips, that is the retaining ring, and that is the jaw, and it is the body and spring. What is do in the by this spring, it press here, it press right over right here, so that this jaw is just slight opening, and then this gripping is slightly loosed, and by loosening this gripping action, one could what it could be, by the jack you could stress, you could tension the wires, and after the tensioning operation has been completed, this pressure can be, you can released, you can pressure, you can release the pressure, and what it could do, it will again grip the strand, or yes, it will grip the strand. By this way you can anchor the system or anchor the device, anchor the tendons. This is also depending on the wedge action type of system. Here you can see the wedges there, and it is an anchor head, and here is a grouting connection. From here you can grout the ducts. This is the full arrangement. This is not the full arrangement, but here it is the full arrangement. Here you put whatever this action, whatever these instruments you see. This is the, this type of arrangements, actually it will look like this kind of thing. Look like this type, and this is the direct bearing type. Direct bearing type anchoring devices. This is the BBRB post tensioning devices based on the direct bearing principle. Here you can see the threaded anchor head is there, and the button head is there, and you put stressed, and it will directly anchor into the in this threaded, in this thread is by this button head. Okay, another thing is very important is the coupler. What is it? Jack is very important, of course jack is very important, but I think this is same as that of the post pretensioning system. That is also very important. Anchorage and jacks are very important. And second thing is the coupler. Coupler are used to connect the stand of the bars. They are located at the junction. For example, near the at or near the near columns in the post tensioning cable, or piers in a post tensioning bridge deck. Okay, what happened? You need to plice it up. You need to why you need a coupler? Because in what happened in case of your, in case of your tendons, in case of your tendons, this will have a limited, this will have a limited length, no? So what you have to do, you have to connect those things so that it could it could be used in a continuous manner, just like a just like a, in our, just like in our RCC structure. What we do, we cut the rod and plice it up. In that case also, sometimes we use the mechanical couplers also. Generally we most often we do the plicing by using wires, by giving proper bond length, yes, bond length between those two reinforcement. In that case we are using couplers for the same perspective. And another important thing for post tensioning system is the grouting devices and grouts. This can be, as I say from earlier, this is a simple mixture of sand or cement, or simply sand, or sometimes sand, cement and polymers, sometimes of polymers, so that it could it could it could provide a proper bond between the tendons and the surrounding grout and the adjacent concrete over in between this. So it is very important to do the grouting operations. So there is a grouting machine is also there. There is nothing but a compression. This is nothing but a compression machine. Means this grout material you poured into a chamber, and another thing is that a compression machine, by which what is happened, by which you can easily host this material into the ducts. You could pressure the material into the duct so that it could be completely filled. It could completely, this grout material is completely filled with this grouting material